Welcome back to IFT200. This is the physical week 3, not the modular that you're supposed to be in. I want to thank everybody for turning in their assignments, starting to look good, but I noticed a couple of minor things that we can hopefully iron out today. When we talk about databases, remember it's a collection of things that Mr. Codd developed as it pertains to relational databases back in the 1970s. That was based on tables and entities. That means what is the relationship between one table and another table? Now, if we move 20 years further, we go, object-oriented databases are based on objects, which has classes. And classes are basically descriptions of size, color, and any other adjective you want to put on there. That's what makes an object-oriented database a little easier and flexible to use. Now, there is a hybrid version where you can use both the relational database and the object-oriented database. And then there's the textbook that you're reading called ORM, not ORM/. ORM stands for Object Role Modeling, which are basically instances of semantics, meaning that once we start understanding what the design tools are, and that's what I want this to be about. So let's say we're looking at a collection of things, and we're going to design something at a farmer's market called fruits. Well, there's an array of different fruits, right? Bananas, kiwis, apples, and oranges. If we decide to pick oranges, we decide that there's tangelos, that there's navel orange, that there is different types of oranges. And then if you get the orange and cut it in half, as you'll see on the diagram, you'll be able to see that there are different parts of it, of each name, which is kind of unique. There is the carpel, there is actually the Blythe, and these names have to become part of the database. And fully, you look at the tree, look at the components of a tree, the leaves, the bark, the trunk, the size of the tree, the type of the tree, and look at the locations of where the trees are grown. If we understand orange, the industry, then we look at California, Florida, Texas, India, Mexico, and China as one of the most popular growing agricultures there is. Now, how do we create a database? It's just a collection of things. That's what we call a client requirement document. It's up to us to structure it, organize it in a manner that begins to show the processes, the step-by-step. And those are the design tools I want you guys to focus on. How do we use an ERD versus a UML or an ORM, Object Role Model? And that's what I want you guys to research. Look at it more loosey-goosey. We have all this material. How do we organize it so it becomes? A lot of you are jumping the gun and giving me a great SQL queries. That's kind of cool and all, but we're assuming that the client is doing peer-to-peer networking, which we call static information. If you look at the diagram behind you, you're going to see a real orange. That's called three-dimensional databases. This is what we use if we wear a wearable. Think about that. You can create an app that has everything in a container. So instead of going back to a server, now we use containers. So a student like yourself can learn in real time, depending on the container you would like to learn. Like a library. When you go to a library, you borrow a book. The books are broken up into different parts. Is it fiction, nonfiction? And you begin to categorize them, right? Those are the unique IDs. I want you to look at databases like that. I understand that a lot of you are eager beavers, and some of you were blessed. Some of you students are in the field and work with databases. I'm going to say you're going to be a plus by helping other students. You know, you can pretty much offer some of your support, and we appreciate that. But I want to open it up. I want you guys to have an open mind. What else is out there? 3D is the way to go, real time. Think about gloves. Think about wearables when you have here an eye going right in front of you. Remember the Minority Report? That's a great movie. That's a reality. Think about hologram technology. Where is databases going? And then if you read your book, ORM, by Dr. Halpin, you'll begin to understand that he's really using several databases from different areas that the end user, the EU, is requesting something different. So it's not a really defined SQL. Remember, an SQL is a statement that we pretty much create ourselves to lead our end users to acquire analytical data. As we will see, this will to my madness, be patient. It will begin to put things together. In the next set of weeks, you'll be learning about normalization, and you'll begin to see what rules are. The ORM book talks about constraints. Think about those. I hope you guys are doing well. Reach out to me. I'm going to introduce my grader to you. And if you have any questions about the exercises, this young lady is very qualified to handle your questions. Again, thank you for working with us and your patience.